So in terms of collaborative writing and collaborative writing with our plus ones, with our plus ones as full partners, not just with our individual selves, but together. How we do that?
Yeah. You proposed it. You must have some idea.
I know.
But then Mel demonstrated it.
Right.
You open a drawer, well, or you open your box and you just
Pull something out. Yeah. I mean, I think
Do you
that's
want to
the
have
most
our-
honest way to do it.
Do we want to have some of each other's cards in our boxes?
Ooh.
Have conversations?
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were to send you some cards and you just tell me where you filed them.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. You show us one of your cards and then we'll pull our indexes and decide which card. Now, if we're going to commit to adding that card to our Zettelkasten, where would it go? What's its parent card?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Because that gives you, it gives you the structure. You know where you're going to go to install it. You'll know where it lives, but you have no control over what's next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And, so if Kathleen, you were to share a card with me, I'd have the choice. Do I want to recopy that card in my own hand, take your card and recopy a child card of it? Do I want to put my own tagline on your card? How are we going to do that? I'm not sure yet, but I feel like at this moment, I'm going to enjoy encountering your handwriting in my box.
Yeah. I'm going to print it out on sturdy paper, or maybe even use some double stick tape and stick it to a file card so it feels like a file card. And have it as is in my box. Yeah.
It wouldn't be us without paper crafts.
Right. And then we have to get from each of us the parent card that goes with it. And then, but those we get to file wherever they go.
Right.
Because they may not be, I mean, we've got to integrate them into our systems. That would be rather interesting we almost have to do an inverted directory and say, okay, these are all the cards that this card chose as parents from other people's.
Yeah. Because if we want to be talking about the same card, it's like,
yeah, they got to stay close.
Or something. There needs to be a map or something.
Talk about links. They will link to somebody else's Zettelkasten.
That is awesome.
A new color pen.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh my. I get to go shopping for another color pen. I don't need to go shopping for another color pen. A certain friend of mine set me up.
There, now we're talking. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so do we just do it? Whose card?
Literally, I have not written any cards yet, but I feel like what I would maybe. Well, so this whole story thing, I looked at Victoria's plot structure template from Fusion Writing, and I went, yeah, no.
Yeah, no, it doesn't apply here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't apply.
But maybe one of these things that I'm referencing in my 100-word story, I could flesh out as a card so that like what that's from.
Okay, that works. And then you could post that on Lilypub sometime this coming week. And then whoever I volunteered to lead next week, and then a week that can be our lead activity will be, okay, we'll all have the card in advance, so we'll be able to say where would we file it, and we can all post those parent cards so we can share those next week. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, guys, you guys are up on a roll. Pew!
The cool thing thing is, anyone just watching this conversation is getting a real-time look at what happens in a writer's brain during the process of creating a piece of work. This is exactly what happens. We're just each playing a different part, whereas with one writer, it would be in their head. But this is exactly what the process looks like.
Wow.
And then when you add your box, that becomes the partner, and that's where the other piece of the communication happens. But this is exactly what it looks like, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're going to have to each add something then next week to our story, be it 6 words or 100 words or anything in between. Keep it to a max of 100 so that we can all share and see where our story goes. Maybe you're going to do connective tissue. Maybe you're going to throw it in another weird direction. Maybe you're going to Mel or Deb introduce another box. We've seen 3 so far. I guess the vault counts as one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, of course, Julianne has the big one. So we got to find some more boxes. And, and yeah. Very interesting.
So yeah, I am viewing the Zettelkastens of the colony.
Mhm.
They learned how to collaborate with them, and we are learning from them how to do the same.
Yeah.
Of course, as a description of architecture and as of a demonstration of the fact that good architecture applies to anything that needs to be architected, including a book.
Including a
Yeah.
So
love it.
he here's the demonstration. Yes, it works.
Yes.
Here. Here's proof. You don't have to go out and buy a lot and get a building permit. It's right here.
I love it.
Go
And-
build it. What's it? Whatever.
And then there's something else that just blew me away. There's a comment that's titled The Oregon Experiment. And when I open this book and read, he was at the University of Oregon, maybe still is, in Eugene, Oregon, which is where I live.
Your neighborhood.
There is I've got to find out what this Oregon experiment is. And is it something that someone can go visit? Because if it does, maybe we need some photographs for the enclave.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
fabulous idea. So he has passed
Yeah.
away.
Okay.
The Oregon Experiment. There's a book, a dedicated book about it. I don't have it, but
Yeah,
it
I'm
exists.
going to have to get it because that could be, in small scale. I mean, he gives some photographs in here in black and white, but at small scale, at close up, it could be the perfect resident village of our people.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to create a bestseller.
I know. Well, this whole thing just demonstrates that everything doesn't have to be plotted out.
Yeah.
It's almost the zone of fascination.
Yeah.
Julianne shared with us this zone,
Yeah.
and we each kind of took our own piece of it. And the more that we share, the more that grows. And then at some point, I would wager the order is going to start to reveal itself. And then we'll just know, okay, this needs to happen here. And then you just start putting it together. So it's the same process. It's just coming from a different direction.
Yeah, at some point in time, we'll have to set the file box up and put the plot points in and start slotting
Yeah.
things in to our
Yeah.
pieces. We'll have to start our 100-page pieces. We'll start having to go into the various slots in our folder
Yeah.
as we put the book together.
Yeah, and much like,
Or-
with categories in the Zettelkasten, right? The age-old
Yeah.
debate. You
Oh,
decide when it is, then you need those. And I feel like there's something very intuitive about the way this whole thing is unfolding, including me joining this
Yeah.
group, for crying out loud.
Yeah. It will emerge.
You need a dump section at first, because at first you can't categorize everything. You don't know where it's going to go. So
Yeah.
that's the power of having a dump region. When you're doing anything creative, you need a spot where you can just throw them in. You don't need to index them. But if there's something wonderful that you do want to index, oh my gosh, then you have to be able to give it a number and put it to the front and index it, because you don't want to lose it. So we have to talk about, well, how do you can you give something a pencil number? And if that number is written in pencil, that means it's got a number in your dump box. And they're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that way, if there's something that you really don't want to lose, then you can index it. And the only price is you got to go to those 5 key words and erase the pencil and write its real number when it finds a home.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I don't know. I'm inventing Zettelkastens stuff as I go.
That's what you do.
That's what this podcast is about.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what fun.
Yeah.